Meet Brendan.
Hey, Brendan Markopoulos, and beer is what I do.
Meet Aaron.
My name is Aaron Barth, and I love beer. 2 years ago, Brendan was looking for a brewer, and I showed up.
We were out at a local brewery down here, and I ordered something, and he looked at me and goes, "Really? Really?" He then began to instruct me on what I should be looking for in quality beer and completely jacked the entire spectrum of what I thought good beer was.
These gentlemen want to change how you drink beer. Locally owned craft brewers based out of Florida, Twin Bays Brewing is revolutionizing hop farming to help sustain the craft brewing industry. Their mission is to improve the already exploding craft brew industry by alleviating the dire demand for fresh hops. Beer is the #1 most popular and most consumed alcoholic beverage in the world. Beer, it's everywhere. From festivals, sporting events, grocery stores to restaurants, no matter where you turn, beer is there. We're starting to see a new phenomenon with the craft beer industry, with a massive national emergence of thousands of micro and nano breweries. The craft beer community has exploded, representing a whole quarter of beer revenue at a hefty $23.5 billion in 2016, and it's expected to more than double its market share by 2019.
People are looking for quality. They're looking for something maybe out of the ordinary. They're looking for something with flavor, something that excites them.
These independent brewers require just a few vital ingredients to sustain their profitable craft. One of these is hops.
The vast majority of brewers that are making their beer, they get their hops from somewhere else. They might even get them from different countries.
Most of the ingredients in the pint glass are not locally sourced. 95% of hops grown in North America come from the Pacific Northwest. These hops are harvested just once every 12 to 15 months. And once harvested, most hops must be converted to pellets to prolong shelf life. Pelletized hops are the most common hops that are used to brew beer today. These hops are oxidized, browned, and the flavor and aroma are obviously sacrificed.
Aaron and I were sitting down to do our first pilot brew, and he brought the hops out to the table, and I was looking at them, and I was like, "Why are these brown in color? What is going on?" And he goes, "Brendan, we can't get fresh hops. There's just not a fresh alternative out here right now." So at that point, I started kind of noodling on the idea of doing fresh hops and growing them sustainably in a hydroponic atmosphere.
Traditional hop farming methods make it difficult to get fresh hops because of the time it takes to harvest. This leaves the craft brewing industry having to purchase lesser quality hops that are hundreds to thousands of miles away. And microbrewers are limited to purchasing these hops only once a year.
The buying power of the big guys absolutely dwarfs any craft brewer. By being able to get hops that are grown here in Florida, it adds that other layer of a feel of local.
I think it's very important to drink local beer because you're not only supporting your community, but you're also supporting the growth of an American industry.
Hydroponic growing is different from growing in ground, basically because you get to give the plant everything it wants. So it's going to be growing in the most optimal condition it can be.
So we created a greenhouse to grow hops. We have hydroponic Beto buckets. We're not wasting water, we're not wasting nutrient, everything's contained, and we're not destroying the environment. One of the very unique things with Twin Bays Farms is our ability to put a fresh crop in the hands of the microbreweries in the area every 90 days instead of conventionally waiting an entire year.
If I have an opportunity through a hydroponic hop grower that I know that they're going to have some available in a couple months. I can put an order now. I know that I'll have that. I think that can be a game changer for a lot of people.
All right, I'm really excited about the concept of using fresh hops since it's an opportunity we haven't had as brewers in Florida, especially not very often. To actually get hops that are just freshly processed, pulled right off the vine, and then sent and thrown right into a boil, or for using for dry hopping even. Any other source we can have to provide us with some awesome hops to use in beers, I think it's going to be a great thing and something we could actually really use in the state.
With our greenhouse, when operational, we will be able to offer up to the craft breweries the ability to get their hands on upwards of 70 different varietals. And we wanted to give the brewery the ability to choose exactly what they want to grow for exactly the beer that they want. They can come feel it, they can see it, they can touch it, they can come here, they can pick it, and they can walk it right over to their kettle and brew.
Hops often range in price to about $25 per pound compared to oranges, which are feared to explode to $2 a pound due to a crisis known as citrus greening.
That has decimated the citrus industry. So a lot of these farmers have dead fields.
It's bad. They've taken 90% reductions in, an overall citrus crop. At that point, I said, Aaron, wow, what if we can be a part of bringing a new crop to the state of Florida that can help balance out the economic page and deliver jobs to these farmers that, within the next 5 to 10 years may not have one. Currently, we have the building plans and a large majority of the construction on the hydroponic greenhouse already completed. This structure is able to produce upwards of 11,000 pounds every 3 months. And that's just with this one greenhouse. We obviously want to take this and scale it nationally to where every brewery has the ability to really give their customer the absolute best tasting beer. We don't want to have complete ownership on the hops that are going out of here. We want another brewery to come in, claim that product and take it to their specific customer base. We want everybody to be able to stand behind a locally sourced Florida agricultural product that they can see, they can feel, they can touch, and they can taste.
It's an industry unlike any other because you help each other out.
During the initial planning phase of this greenhouse, we opened up the ability for local breweries to give us pre-orders. We took pre-orders before the first pole was even in the ground. The great news is, 135 days after funding, we will have our first batch of fresh Florida hops going to local craft breweries.
Fresh hops is the future of brewing.
We already have the infrastructure built for the greenhouse. The demand for fresh hops is huge. And ultimately, we just want to help sustain the micro and nano brewers through locally sourced ingredients, so we can get back to creating the art that this country has developed a taste for: craft beer.